I'm Jack Canniff, and for my presentation 3 of organometallics, I have the Nozaki-Hiyama-Kishi reaction, otherwise known as the NHK reaction, and the Takai olefination reaction. To start with, the Nozaki-Hiyama-Kishi reaction will have an R group, which can be any sort of carbon bond, such as an alkenyl, aryl, alkene group, and that will be attached to an X group, which is known as a halogen. That will be reacting with chromium dichloride and either nickel dichloride or manganese dichloride. And it will react with a ketone or an aldehyde, and it will create a product that is Grignard-like, where the original R group from the starting material will be on the carbonyl, and the carbonyl will become an alcohol group. As for Takai olefination, you'll start with an aldehyde, where the R group can be aryl, alkenyl, anything that isn't a double bond, essentially. And it will react with a haloform chromium dichloride to create an alkene that has a leaving group on it, attached to the original R group. And from here, we'll move to the comparisons. All right, when comparing the two reactions, the NHK starting material is a carbon group with a halogen connected to it, while the Takai reaction is an aldehyde with a carbon group attached to it. They're similar with their reactants, where both use chromium dichlorate. For the products, though, while NHK has a Grignard-esque product, the Takai reaction has an alkene connected to a halogen. And finally, they both are similar due to their use of a ketone or an aldehyde. And from here, we can move to the practice problem. All right, here's the practice problem. Now, is this a Takai olefination or is it an NHK reaction? So you can pause the video. All right, in this case, it is a Takai olefination. The reason why, or like some dead giveaways, are that you're using CHBr3. The starting material, in this case, is an aldehyde. And in the product, you'll have an alkene connected to a leaving group.